All right, everyone, there was an article there, link in the description, archived, of course, where they're saying, oh, Trump is generally agreed upon not to be a good role model. And I was just thinking to myself, this isn't exactly the most newsworthy thing anyway. It's just, the continuation of basically Trump is stupid crap. Trump is dumb, demented, evil, bigoted, Hitler, a Russian agent, and unfit in every possible way, like physically hideous. Basically, it's one-dimensionality. It's bullshit. It's just a continuation of that. But I was thinking to myself, which politician is a good role model? Look, if you're a partisan, which is to say you're a hack, and you think that R or D after someone's name makes a huge difference, it might make some difference on some issues some of the time. By and large, it means basically nothing. It's just a corporate political front. Even a libertarian be having an L after your name, or a G like a Green Party. Even that, maybe it matters a little bit more because, you've got ideology because you don't have pragmatism because they're not actually in office at the time. Even then, it's just a letter after someone's name, but unless you're partisan, why would you hold any politician up on a pedestal and say, well, this is my role model? It'd be better to be just really nostalgic and go back to the past. Look, some fucking dead politician from half a century ago, like, oh, I idolize JFK. Okay, idolize the general prevailing nostalgic feeling of JFK all you want, because it's a sanitized version of what that politician is. No, the real JFK was a coke-snorting womanizer who almost started a nuclear war just as much as he was a soaring, charismatic figure. And by presidential standards, young and charismatic and energetic. He had very good things about him. Mainly the U.S. apple pie, red, white, and blue symbolism of the era carried us through the Cold War. But he was also flawed. Whitewash a dead politician and hold them up on a standard all you want as a symbol of your own beliefs, like Theodore Roosevelt. Again, another flawed figure. Didn't he get punched in the face at some point, lose part of the eyesight in one of his eyes, and he kept boxing? Or he finally gave it up, I think, after that, because oh, fuck. I think that was why he had to wear a monocle, if I remember correctly. Some crazy story like that. He was nuts. And he dies in his mid-40s. It was chronic effects of malaria from wandering around the jungles for too long. Look at a dead politician. Somebody from the past who doesn't do any policy anymore, and just sanitize your image of them and hold them up, maybe. But Trump's still alive. Look, tomorrow, if you hold him as a role model, he could do something shitty tomorrow. The same is true of like a Bush or a Clinton or something. And then some of them, they've already done really shitty stuff, like Obama ruined the nation of Libya, or certainly with Clinton helped to. He's not a good role model. I hate to say it. The fact that he's capable of dancing with Ellen, and it's very cute, very, very chic and modern, or was in the 2000s anyway. That ancient history so long ago, the fact that he's capable of dancing around and delivering a coherent speech shouldn't make him your role model. The George W., who would want him as a role model? Oh, my role model is incoherent and pushed us into a new Cold War. And then spied on the whole population, digs through their trash to see if they're loyal. Maybe Ronald Reagan would be the most recent one that anyone should even consider for such a thing. And even with the Gipper, it's a cult of personality sort of thing. Have you ever heard that song, Cult of Personality by Living Colour? It's literally true. I can't think of many figures throughout history, and they're sort of held up as larger than life, that actually measure up when you dig deeper into the history of that person, including people who ultimately were very noble and did very good things. Look, Washington and Jefferson, they're great dudes, but they also had their flaws. They said things that were moronic, and they believed things that were moronic. That doesn't mean that they're terrible people, but you be your own role model. Look, a great person is made by their individualism. It's made by their ability to make their decisions. They're not going to follow anyone. They're going to lead. That's why you remember them as great. Ultimately, that's the only main separating point. And then in some cases with modern machine politics, you don't even get that, because you get someone who basically has just been because they looked the part and sounded the part, and because they raised the money, they slowly go upwards from rung to rung within a political movement, and then they just sort of fall in order to get some, bureaucratic position of note. They become a governor, a senator, maybe the president of the United States. What do you think happens with Hillary? Basically Billary. the whole family movement as a coherent whole. The Clintons are very, very tribal individuals, it seems. They've got sort of that Arkansas mountain thing in them, the barefoot in the horseradish field appeal. And so they sort of, they definitely stick by one another through thick and thin. Sometimes it's really, really fucking thin. Of course, now you look at Bubba Bill, he's much thinner than he was. His thick times came in the fucking 90s, back when it was okay that he was President McDonald, and go jogging occasionally. He's like, oh, I need to lose 5 pounds. He should have lost 50 pounds, and now he looks like a skeleton because he waited too long. He should have lost it then, slowed down his aging, and then now he can get a little portly. Instead, he got a little portly, and then it just sags right off the bone, because then he loses the weight after he's already, fucked up his skin and everything. He just looks like a zombie, although he's recovered slightly since Hillary Clinton's election bullshit. Well, you look at them, they rise up through, sort of in the system of law and academics, and then, local politics. Bubba becomes governor, he becomes president, she rides his coattails into the Senate, Secretary of State, presidential candidate. They just keep moving up and up in waves, the Clintons do. Of course, now their dynasty is basically ended. Chelsea's not, I think, going to ever get beyond maybe a state Congress. She certainly could get into the, New York State, because it's so blue. She's a Clinton, she could get into, the Senate or something, maybe. Going beyond that on a national stage, people would, I think, reject that. The same way they rejected Jeb Bush. And she probably would be the Clintons' version of Jeb. She'd be the even less coherent, less intelligent individual who doesn't even really look the part, in all honesty. Bubba Bill, when he was running for the presidency, or even Clinton the first time around, looked better than Chelsea does now, even though she's, I think, 20 years younger than her mother was when she was campaigning at the time. And a good 10 years younger, I think, than her father. So it's just hilarious. So don't make Trump your role model. Like, I voted for Trump. I still generally support many of his notions, although not all. But he's not my fucking role model, dude. He's never gonna be my role model. Look, still a backstabbing, multinational corporate figure. Well, that's better maybe than a career machine politician. It's better than maybe a Clinton or something that, never made an honest dollar in their life. Maybe so, but still, he had to backstab his way to the top. He didn't get there by being a nice guy, dude. It just didn't happen. So if you want to be a little bit miserly, I guess, and model your life after someone who would be, at least at times, I am sure, a lot like Ebenezer Scrooge in order to get ahead in a cutthroat business climate, yeah, okay, go ahead. But you're going to have to dress like Review Bra with none of his soft-spoken mannerisms, basically. So you can enjoy that. I don't think that's exactly the lifestyle for me. But others, they can be privy to that if they really want to. That's about all. Peace out.